Okay, so in our last recording, I gave you an introduction to just the LabKit labs, and hopefully that kind of set you straight in terms of where to go and how to do those. I did want to go ahead and make a special recording regarding the introduction to the microscope lab. So if you come here again, you go to content, so I'm in content, and then went down to module 2, and then I hit the LabKit introduction to the microscope, and I eventually am able to get myself to here after going through the entire introduction. I get to this place, and I told you, remember to download this. This is what you're going to turn in. But if you go to virtual microscope here, it pulls up the procedure that you're going to run. And in this, it says launch Stanford University's virtual Urchin microscope. Now you can click here, and that will take you to it, or you can click here, and that will take you to it. Either one of those is going to take you to this virtual Urchin microscope. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Unfortunately, it doesn't open in a new window, so I'm going to go back here, open this back up, so I can come back here and read our procedure. It says take a tour of the virtual microscope by clicking on the microscope tutorial button under the microscope basics. So it comes here, microscope basics, it says go to the microscope tutorial. There you go. So I go ahead and click on that. Come back to this. Follow the tutorial, how to use the different aspects of the compound light microscope, complete the post-lab questions while performing this exercise. So the only thing that you need to complete is the basic microscope tutorial. Okay, you can complete other things. I mean, if you want, you can go to microscope measurement and all that kind of thing, but you don't need to do that. You just need to do this simple activity. So you're just going to want to read through this. In this activity, you will identify the different parts of the microscope, and of course you read this. You go ahead and start. Okay, and it says parts of the microscope, all right, and it says touch the different parts of the microscope to identify them. So you come here and you can just say, okay, what's that? And it will say fine focus control, fine tunes the focus, right? Coarse focus control gives coarse control over the focus. Condenser adjustment control, right? And you can go through these, and you'll want to go through each one of them as we get to this, and it will highlight where they are on your typical microscope, okay? And so you can just walk your way through that portion of the assignment. After you do that, you're going to go ahead and go to the setup, and it says follow these steps, and this is really the part that I wanted to tell you about, because it took me a little bit when I first encountered this to figure out what exactly are they asking. It says turn on the light source, and you're like, okay, what do I do? Well, they have these little white areas that you can do this with, right? So you're looking for these things that you can touch with your mouse and just do that. Okay, so that does that, and I turn it on, and then it'll go to step number 2. Take some time to play with the condenser diaphragm dial to see how it regulates the light, and then it goes on. But what is that? Well, that's this. Okay, all right, and so you do that, and then it goes on to the next thing, and it says, you just keep doing this, and you're looking for some way to change this, okay, in some way to interact with this environment up here. So, so that's hopefully helpful to you. I anticipated there might be some problems, like students looking at this like, what do I do? Like, where do I go with this? So some of you might be like, I would have figured that on my own. Okay, great. But this took 2 minutes of your time, took 2 minutes of my time, so I figured it would be best to go ahead and record this. All right.